We have a form. It is one that I've done in the past and one that I'm glad to bring back. What we have here is the internet's hardest questions. I went ahead and asked a few of my friends, a few new friends as well, these questions that have been a huge debate on the internet over time. I'm not going to go too deep into the questions. We'll get through them as we go along. I'm not going to go through individual answers here because obviously that would take too long. So really quick, the first question that I had asked everyone is a simple question, but cats or dogs? Now, if you guys don't know me very well, I very clearly have a preference if you're not looking at my chest, but we have the cat boy main as an option, right? When it comes to cats or dogs, obviously I lean a certain way, and to me it seems like my friends also understand, you know, this question. They understand how they should have answered. So it came out to a 60-40 split. It's not too bad, not too bad. I mean, to be honest, I should have put a both option on here. There's a lot of, like, I actually do like both. I don't mind a cat or a dog. I like to play with dogs. I do prefer cats over dogs. This is kind of like, this reflects my mental process about this, to be honest. And then the next question I asked, another simple question, and that is Coke or Pepsi. And surprisingly, actually, this is really surprising to me because for some reason, a lot of the people who I asked don't like soda. I had probably like a quarter of the people who responded come back to me saying, what if I don't like soda? To which my answer was, it just says Coke or Pepsi. It doesn't tell you have to like one or the other. And so I just had them answer anyway. So the answers, it's not true to what it could be, but it was actually another 60-40 split, which is insane to me. I am all over the place. So I like Coke for plain Coke. When it comes to the cherry soda, I like Pepsi. I actually like cherry Pepsi better than cherry Coke. And then when it comes down to the special flavors, now listen, Dream World Coke was my shit last year. So I do lean more Coke than Pepsi, but yeah, it's just me. We start to get into some of the harder questions, like almost immediately too. So what I asked everyone was pineapple on pizza. Now this one, I get it sometimes. I actually don't. I actually like Hawaiian pizza a lot. I think pineapple on pizza is fine if it's a Hawaiian pizza. A lot of people seem to not agree because this shit came out to 55-45. It's close, almost a 50-50, I don't understand how people can say pineapple's gross on pizza. I understand if somebody's like allergic to pineapple, but come on, dude, it's pineapple, it's good. And it's not like they put the normal sauce and cheese. They spice it up a little bit. They went out of their way to use different ingredients to make a special pizza, and you're gonna call it trash? You're gonna say it doesn't belong? That's just, I don't know if I can fuck with that, you know. That's kind of discriminatory if you ask me. And then the next question, a big one, actually, a big one. Is water wet? Now, I've done this debate before. I'm not gonna go too in depth on it, but here's what I'm gonna say. Water makes things wet. You'll pour water on a counter, the counter becomes wet. You'll pour water on your phone becomes wet. You get water on your clothes, then your clothes are wet. But if you put water on water, it's just water. Water can't be wet. It can make things wet. And so I say, no, water's not wet. And what everybody else says is crazy talk. I don't know how this happened. We're going to have to discuss this because clearly they're going to be on the wrong side of history. I feel like this is more than the last time I asked this question. Water makes things wet. It can't be wet, you know. Fellas, it's 2024. It's a new year. And you know what that means? It's probably time for you to get a new PC. I mean, when was the last time you updated your system? If you're in the market for a new PC or just looking for somewhere to spend that Christmas money, look no further than Stoneforge Technology. Stoneforge has both custom and pre-built PCs, as well as any accessories that one needs to either game or stream. Not only that, Stoneforge also ships worldwide. So if you're in the market for a new PC, look no further than Stoneforge Technology. Use the link in the description or use code Markillis at checkout to get 5% off your order, as well as to support the channel. Now back to the video. For the first one is cereal soup. I say yes. I think it is soup. I think it's funny to think it's soup. So it comes out to a 50-50 actually. I think that's fine. Cereal can be soup. And then do you put the toilet paper over or under? I know for a lot of people, they answer this question, and when they say under, it's simply because they have like a cat. And when you put the toilet paper under, the cat can't like spin it out. Although I feel like they could still kind of do it from the other end. but whatever. Most people said over. Despite most people leaning in the direction of cats, they all put their toilet paper over. There is one person who puts it under. Moving on. Now, these are some big, important questions. I'm telling you this right now. They're huge. How many holes are in a straw? Now, I want you to think about this for a second. Before you answer in your head, right? When you look at a straw and you look through it, how many holes do you think there are? I definitely think that a straw has one big hole, and apparently 8 of my friends are wrong. Now, I'm not going to expose these people. By the time they see this video, you know, maybe they've changed their ways. Maybe they've improved as people. And so I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they had to answer the question too quickly and they couldn't think it through. Now, the next question, though, I'm not sure if I can do that, because I asked who would win all 1,021 of the Pokemon, one of each, right? Only one of each, or 1 billion lions. Now, a billion is a lot, but also when you look at things, think about it. When it comes down to Pokemon, we do have literal gods in there, as well as entities that cannot be touched. And on top of it, to add one more thing, outside of having literal gods and things that you cannot touch, when it comes to the Pokemon versus the lions, there's one big factor, and that's that there is a literal Pokemon that is a skyscraper building. Now, I don't know about you guys. You know, I think it would take at least 1 billion lions to beat a skyscraper building when you think about it. Like, how are you supposed to hurt that? It's a building. The way that I lean in this, of course, thinking logically, is that these fantasy animals would definitely win. I think they roll. I think they win by a landslide. You have entire Pokemon that have created the world and the universe. Now, lions, man, kind of meh. They're just like, they're big kitty cats. Let's be real. It seems that a lot of my friends agree with me here. A lot of my friends agree with me. There's a couple of people that are wrong. They're just straight up wrong. I don't know how to fix that. I'm not going to convince them. They probably saw the 1 billion and were like, yeah, no, instantly 1 billion. But they didn't think about the skyscraper. There's the literal skyscraper Pokemon. Outside of God, there's a literal skyscraper Pokemon. That's what I'm focused on. Anyway, if you bake 2 lasagnas and then you put one lasagna on top of the other, is it still 1 or 2 lasagnas? I think if I bake 2 lasagnas and I put one lasagna on top of the other lasagna, that I get one big lasagna, like a layered cake, you know? You ever seen them bake like a wedding cake? They like bake the layers individually and then they like stack them on top of each other. And it's like one big cake. A lot of them think it's one lasagna. I'm inclined to agree with them. I'm inclined to agree. And then when it comes down to the next question, is a peanut butter a liquid or a solid? The answer is actually, technically it's a liquid. The TSA recognizes peanut butter as a liquid because it has to take the form of whatever container it's in. And it's actually a colloid. So it's a liquid that's filled with particles. So technically it's a liquid. And I say it's a liquid as well. So we've got 9 more questions. I'm like halfway through. But I think this is something that's actually going to break it for me. I asked my friends, I said, do you pour the cereal first or the milk first? And this is, of course, when you're eating cereal, whether it's in the morning or at midnight while you're supposed to be doing something else. That's when I typically eat cereal. I'm supposed to be working on some project or something, and instead I'm watching Adventure Time and I'm eating cereal. But anyway, do you pour the cereal first or do you pour the milk first? And I'm going to find these people, right? I'm going to find these people. There had to be 2. There are 2 people. 2 of them pour the milk first, and it gets worse. It gets worse, okay? When you shit, do you wipe standing or sitting? Now this, you'll notice, I asked for 2 answers, but I do have 3. It's either standing like a psycho, sitting like a normal person, right? Or I am rich and own a bidet. Of course, this still requires you to wipe your ass, but I just wanted to inform everyone. Now, I own a bidet, and I will say, definite game changer. Save a lot on toilet paper, but, oh God. When it came down to answering this, I think somebody got confused along the way. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a stander. All right, next up, is the dress black and blue or gold and white? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this has to do with the famous dress on the internet. This photo went around, back in like, I want to say 2013 or something like that. But it's of this dress. Now, I don't remember if it was black and blue or gold and white. I believe it was black and blue. But looking at the image, it's very hard to tell. Now, me, I've done photography, I've done film, meaning that I've had to study color science and stuff like that. And I can actually see both. I can see both. Usually just focusing on the lighting in the photo, I can kind of just switch up on how I'm perceiving the object. But most people answered black and blue, and I that's understandable. I think if you look at like the light in the background, you can really start to see that it's actually kind of black and blue. For those saying gold and white, I do understand that if you look at just the dress itself at first glance at the image, it does appear that way as well. I can lean either way. I don't remember exactly what it was. I do believe it was black and blue, but I could be wrong. Now, the next question is the S or the C silent in the word sent? Now, you might be thinking, this is an obvious answer. So you can say the word sent, right? As in, I sent something in the mail, which is S-E-N-T. So then the C would be silent, right? Or you can say the word cent, as in a penny, which is C-E-N-T. So then the S would be silent. The way that I pronounce the word, I'm definitely pronouncing that C. I'm just saying. It seems that to the people who I asked this question to, that the C was silent to them. That's a 70-30 split. So, you know, I think that there's some reason in saying it's the S. You know, I get it. I get it. But like I said, you could say the word cent, as in cent for mail, right? Or cent as a penny, and I could see it going either way. I just know I pronounce that C. Now it's up to you whether you pronounce the S or the C. I'm not going to tell you how you should pronounce the word cent. After all, I'm not an Englishologist. Now we do have a big question coming up, and it's a very simple question. And simply, it is a hot dog a sandwich? Now, forgive me, the box is a little janked up because I had to move it by hand. But is a hot dog a sandwich? And I think that the answer is actually yes. I believe the USDA classified it as a sandwich, and it's a 65-35 split that it is a sandwich. Now, what else is a hot dog other than a sandwich? I mean, it can't be a taco. Could it? Wait, could a hot dog be a taco? Probably only in Mexico. But I think it's a sandwich. I think it's a sandwich. And then we have the trolley problem. If you're not familiar with the trolley problem, it is simply a graphic with a trolley, and it splits into two tracks. And on one side of the track, you have one person tied down, lying on the track. And then on the other side of the track, there are 5 people tied down on the track, right? And now when asking this question, there are 2 options. Is either you do nothing and the trolley kills the 5 people on the main track, right? But you did nothing. And it's not like you put those people there, right? Or you pull the lever and you kill the one person on that other side of the track, but you save those 5 people. And this is an ethics question. So it's like, do you kill one person for the sake of 5, right? Or do you let 5 people die because it had nothing to do with you in the first place? And in turn, your hands are clean from killing that one person, but you could have saved those 5. It's a tough question, I'll admit. And it's one that I don't think really reflects too accurately on a person. But here's my answer, at least. I was a really big fan of Tokyo Drift when I grew up. And so I think that the trolley should actually hit its brakes in such a way that it kills all 6 people. 1, because that would be something crazy to see. But also 2, I'm not guilty of killing 5, nor am I guilty of killing 1. But I'm guilty of killing all 6. So if you ask somebody the trolley question, the answer is that they should Tokyo Drift in reality. But when it came down to asking these YouTubers this question, most of them said that they would pull the lever. Now, for the 6 that said that they would do nothing, let me just tell you, your hands are not clean. You might as well have killed a person because you just got 5 killed. Now, me, on the other hand, I'm better than everybody else, so I'm killing all 6. Okay, very simple, very simple. On to the good questions. Is it Yanni or Laurel? Now, if you know what I'm talking about, there's this audio clip that went around on the internet, I think in 2015, kind of aging myself there. But there's this audio clip that went around on the internet.
Laurel, 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 laurel.
And it made a noise. And people said it either sounded like it was saying Yanny or like it was saying Laurel. Now, the real question is, do you hear Yanny or do you hear Laurel? And the answer for me is that I hear Yanny, actually. I can hear the Laurel, but most of the time I hear Yanny. And it seems that I'm on the wrong side of history with this one, because apparently everybody else hears Laurel. Now, that being said, I think it's saying both, to be honest, but you know, there's no option for that. You have to choose. Now, on this question down here, of course, you don't have to choose. So, have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything? Well, have you? And the answer for this is just bingo curd. And our last question, right? And I'll scroll down to this in a rapid manner. Lastly, are you subscribed to Markillis on YouTube? And the answer, everyone, should be a resounding yes, as I am friends with all these creators. We are mutuals. We have been there for each other's marriages and weddings and firstborns. And no, I'm just kidding. I don't know everybody that closely, to be honest. But everybody should know that I have a YouTube channel. And the answer, everybody. What? Now, hold up. I wouldn't have been surprised if it was just one. Maybe even two. But four? Four? How are there 4 people of the YouTubers and streamers that I am mutuals with? There are 4 people, and I know all of these people. We follow each other. I'm probably subscribed to each one of their YouTube channels. Now, hopefully by the time this video goes up, hopefully by that point, you know, my friends have corrected their wrongdoings.